you kind of alluded to it here, and I want to transition into this, because the only people that are worried about this more than people coming in are the people that are in the career field right now, right? And it's the entitlement of this new generation. It's the differences between the new team and the old team. First of all, let me say, the new team always hates the old team. When you get in on shift and you're working on a 24-hour shift, you're going to get in, you'll be like, the morning guys never replace the water. They always leave the refrigerator open, and they know they're not supposed to. And then when the Bravo flight, the Bravo guys get in, they're like, Alpha team's so dumb. The night guys never actually get us ready to go and do the paperwork. So like everybody's going to complain about it, right? Because there's only two things we hate in these career fields: the status quo and any change. But as Peach has kind of alluded to, we're early adopters. We see, I have apprentices on my team. I have products of the new apprentice course and the new pipeline that we're working with right now at the ST unit. So we are typically on the other side of it, where we're like, hey, there are some things that they fail at, but there's a lot of things that they're better at. So we'll start with that first one. Is in this new generation, these darn kids, as we say, the Gen Zs. How has the schoolhouse changed? I heard, scout, or not scout, but like, mentor and coach more than just the punch in the face. And to go off on a tangent there, people are kind of going to freak out because you said earlier, oh, well, the apprentice course, we made it less physical. Let me give you an example of some just nonsense. In the SEER phase, we used to do an overland, and for no reason at all. They'd just be like, okay, well, you got to do this overland, and we're going to put this wacky scenario on top of it. But the overland was like 25 clicks long through, terrain that was heinous, and you would be just crushed. And they'd be like, cool, we taught you how to land nav. I'm like, no, you didn't. You were chasing me all night. And if you caught me, you were going to pour water on me and make me freezing, and then tell me that I didn't have any food for the rest of the night. Like, what are we doing here? Right. So that's an example of, like, now they're patrolling and not just doing land nav by themselves. They're actually patrolling and being part of a team and figuring out how to do battle drills, like battle drills 1 through 6, like all of these things. So what are some other examples that you guys have changed down there to really like engage and get the Gen Zs engaged, whether it be, tablets to carry around their coursework material, or some other way that you guys are engaging these younger darn people?
So one of the biggest changes is we're getting away from this idea that they used to have, where it was like, just carry your notebook everywhere. Like, we carry our notebooks everywhere with our students. Don't get me wrong. We aren't getting rid of that so that they can take stuff, but we're also giving them field guides for phases where they put it in their pocket. So when you're trying to teach somebody ropes, they can pull that out and have a picture of a rope system and then actually annotate on that picture that's drawn. They don't have to go through this. Okay, what am I going to make a carabiner like? Oh, this is my carabiner. This is what I'm going to make a pulley look like on this picture. But then they can ask each other. They can pass it around their standard imagery that they're looking at so that they can all build off it. And so each one of them has that. But then they can take it home and they have a good image of what they're looking at so that they know it's not their terrible drawing that they tried to figure out in the moment. Yeah, when you got like 15, 20 years of experience, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly how to draw this. And it's like, neat. These students don't have that. And so we're starting to give them a lot more course material. So for like Tech Rescue, you get a field guide. And it's only like 50 pages. It's not very big, but it has all those pictures. It has all the explanations, and it's all the information we care about. So we've already dissected everything important and relevant, so we can hand that to you so that you don't have to search through reading like 20 different books to try and figure it out or stay on the internet for an hour. We can start actually making their at home, like their homework and stuff, a lot more deliberate so that they can learn that. Weapons phase, same thing. Like their weapons manual. You can flip through there. You can learn how to zero a weapon. You can learn how to clean a weapon, take it apart, all these different things. So that when you tell a student, hey, I need you to clean your weapon, well, you got to remember this student's only taken it apart like once in BMT and maybe once in this class. So to expect them to be proficient in breaking down an M4 and then cleaning it on their own, it's completely unrealistic. And so when you're wondering like, oh, why are these students taking so long? It's because they have no clue. They've done it twice. It's not like when after like a decade now, when you're like, hey guys, we got to go clean weapons, and everybody's like, cool. They just bring it over the table. They just start busting it open, ripping this thing apart, and everybody's just having a conversation. Like, oh, hey, yeah, no, like, I think I'm going to go here this weekend. No, these students are trying to actually figure out where these pins are that they can push so they can pull it open and be like, all right, that's done. Next thing, I had to get that thing out somehow. And so we're giving them these resources that they can actually be successful with, and they can take it home. They can read it. And then in tactics phase, they have the same type of deal. But it's in tactics, we encourage them to have it on them always, because they're using it for that decision making, where it's they have a reference that can help them. It's like, how am I going to cross this road? Will it be a type 1? And they're like, type 1, what was that? Boom, pull it open. Because if you look at it, like we used to do that in med phase. Everybody had a med handbook on them. They're always like, why wouldn't you have a med handbook? And you're going to give medications. Why don't you crack that thing open? Because it's something you don't really know that well.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, cool. There it is. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that thing in that book that is labels all the steps for me.
Right. This thing that smart doctors have put together and then put out to the career field. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reference that while I'm doing this task. You know, the Ranger Handbook is pretty good on tactics from what I understand. So why not reference that bad boy?
Yeah, because when you look at it, it's like a student. They're like, I'm going to draw on all this experience that I have. I've been in this phase for 2 days. So, yeah, I got no experience, and I have no clue what I'm doing right now.
Right.